The first of the favorites coming out of the water, Dave Scott. After missing the race last year, it must be good to be back in the thick of it. Scott through the showers. That's Mark Allen right behind, followed by more of the top men. Dietrich, this is just his second Ironman. Scott, as always, very fast in the transitions. These are not everyday bikes. Each one costs roughly $3,000. Here comes a barefoot Mark Allen. His shoes are already attached to the pedals. Scott underway. Allen is undefeated in the last 9 triathlons he has run, including the World Championship in Avignon, France. The leading women starting to come ashore. Kirsten Hansen, she was 3rd last year. Now Paula. Jan Ripple, mother of 3. She wins other triathlons, but in 2 tries here, she has suffered terrible muscle cramping. Paula is only 3 minutes behind Scott and Allen. They, in turn, are 3 minutes behind Dietrich. Good luck, Paula.
Thank you.
112 miles of biking to go. The route of the bike course is along the coast of Hawaii, the southernmost and biggest of the islands Captain Cook discovered back in 1778. Like the other islands, Hawaii consists of volcanic mountains. Mauna Loa, still an active volcano, is on the right. Mauna Kea, almost 14,000 feet high, is on the left. The bike course runs north, slicing through lava fields. Rolling hills are followed by a steady climb to the turnaround point at the tiny village of Hawi. The return trip is downhill and fast at first, and then it's back to the flatter terrain of the lava field, where the average rainfall is less than 1 inch per year. And in those lava fields, on the highway they call the Queen K, Wolfgang Dietrich with the sun coming up on his right. Dietrich's lead over Scott and Allen, 3 minutes at the end of the swim, is down to 2.5. More of the grueling Hawaii shimmers on the Queen K, and a pack of the best triathletes in the business chase this man, Wolfgang Dietrich. Dietrich's lead shrinks with each mile. He is now just 2 minutes, 20 seconds ahead of the chase pack. But this is the traditional pattern of the Ironman. The top swimmers seem to evaporate on the Queen K like drops of water on a skillet. Just over a mile behind Dietrich, Scott.
Dave was forced to drop out of the 1988 race with a last-minute knee injury. He has vowed to win his Ironman title back. Of the 9 races that Allen has won this year, he has beaten Scott twice, both at half Ironman distances. Or maybe an aerodynamic-looking Kenny Glah has the right stuff today. He was 30 years ago. One thing is certain, both Allen and Glah determined to keep Scott in sight.
Leading the women's race is 27-year-old Lisa Lottie. As Paula Newby-Fraser was in 1985, Lisa is an Ironman rookie. But while Paula came to the race with virtually no training, Lisa has trained with the best, Paula Newby-Fraser.
Working out with Paula the last, 3 weeks, I think helped both of us during the bike. But what really helped me working out with her and seeing how she trains is how she takes her easy and hard days. And like I used to train, I go out and hammer every day on the bike. I want to go fast, every day. And I don't ease off. I pretty much overtrain myself.
The complex challenge of the Ironman, and someone who has mastered it, Paula Newby-Fraser.
Jan Ripple in the striped suit defeated Paula Newby-Fraser each of the 3 times they competed in shorter course events this past year. She and Kirsten Hansen in the white helmet behind Jan trail Lisa Lottie by a half mile at the 20-mile mark. Hansen has a victory and a loss in shorter events versus the Iron Woman from Zimbabwe, who was out of the water slightly behind them, but is right now beside Kirsten Hansen.
With the leaders already well into the bike segment, competitors continue to stream out of the water. At the pier, Donna De Verona.
Over a decade of Ironman competition has wiped out the notion that swimmers can't bike and bikers can't run. It's been a proving ground for those that have been able to master all three disciplines. And it's a unique event that embraces everyone. Young and old, male and female compete side by side. The ultimate accomplishment here is to finish. Especially for those who have failed before, like 49-year-old Dick Hoyt, who until last year's Ironman never failed to finish any race. An amazing accomplishment considering the unique circumstances of the Hoyt entry. The vest, a competitive lifeline to a raft. In it is Dick's 27-year-old son Ricky. Like any entrant, they must complete the swim in 2 hours and 15 minutes, or like last year's disappointment, will be disqualified from the entire event. Dick Hoyt married his high school sweetheart in 1961. He was 20, she was 19. He was captain of the football team and she was a cheerleader. But they were hardly prepared for life's cruelty when their first child was born with the umbilical cord wrapped around his neck. He suffered brain damage, cerebral palsy.
I was mad. I was really mad. It was not the baby that I dreamed about. It was not the baby that I planned on. It was like some other baby. And at first I wanted him to die so I didn't have to deal with it. And kind of an external force would just take Rick out of my life and I wouldn't have to deal with something that wasn't right. And we went to the specialist and I will never forget that day. He was cold, he was hard. He basically said to us, your child has cerebral palsy. He's going to bring you nothing but grief. You should just forget about him, put him in an institution and go on and have other kids.
We said, no, there's no way we're going to put him in an institution. So we took Rick home and we said we're going to bring Rick up just like we would any other child. And this is what we have done.
They took Ricky swimming and rock climbing and canoeing along with their two younger sons who were born able-bodied. And they learned that in the nonverbal quadriplegic body of their oldest child, there was a healthy, active mind. Rick learned to communicate using a computer, spelling out with excruciating patience the words he'd like to say. He speaks here through an interpreter, his friend and aide.
My greatest fear is not being respected as a person with an okay mind. People see me and assume that I'm not smart.
Rick is now a junior at Boston University studying special education. He shares an apartment with a friend, and other students assist Rick with his personal care and schoolwork.
Being disabled is the only thing I've ever known, so it's hard to make a comparison to being able-bodied. Sometimes it's very difficult because I have to depend so much on others. But at least I have choices, and I make my own decisions about how my life will be.
He made one of those decisions at the age of 16 when he asked his father to enter a 5K race with him. He knew exactly what he wanted.
We got that picture of Rick, the first race he ever ran. And he's got the biggest smile you ever saw in his life. It goes from one end of his head to the other, you know. And he's almost coming out of the chair, you could see it. And then that night, after that very first race, he went home on his computer and wrote, Dad, when I'm running, it feels like I'm not even handicapped.
The 5K led to a 10K, then to marathons, and now triathlons. Along the way, Dick Hoyt has become an outstanding age group athlete, and he could compete easily without Rick, but he won't.
He drives me, and there's just something that happens to me when I get behind that chair and start pushing him, and we just can go faster. I don't want to do it on my own. I have no desire to do it. No.
Why not?
Because I've never done one on my own. It's Rick to get me into it. Why should I go and do it on my own? I just don't have no desire to go out there and do it. It wouldn't be the same. I wouldn't know what to do. What am I going to do with my arms?